You're welcome back. It's still the Breakfast Expert show. All right, it's time for us to go to our discussion segments. Our first topic: 2027 political parties juggling to complete preparations as INEC deadline approaches. The race for the 2027 elections is gathering pace across political parties. African Democratic Congress (ADC) and three presidential hopefuls, Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, and Mohammed Hayatuddin, purchased their nomination forms between Friday and Sunday.
Okay. For the Nigerian Democratic
The leading opposition political
presidential ticket for the 2027 was zoned to the south. Its national convention in Abuja on Saturday, the party said the presidential ticket is for a single 4-year term. Some of the new members spoke at the convention. Let's enjoy this one.
the Nigerian Democratic Congress recognizes that opposition politics must go beyond mere criticism for political convenience. True opposition must provide ideas, direction, accountability, and credible alternatives for national progress. The NDC therefore commits itself to issue-based politics, constructive engagement, people-oriented governance, and the restoration of public confidence in leadership. I'm sure they ignored NDC. I'm sure they laughed at NDC. But they cannot ignore or laugh now. But they are attacking. And when they attack, according to Mahatma Gandhi, then you win. Then we.
The work starts today. The work in ensuring that we chase out all these people who are making our country, others who agreed that you can forge certificates, others who agreed that doing the wrong thing is right. They are the people who want to chase out.
Konkosia. With a great sense of unity and solidarity, that as a loyal party member, I support the decision to zone the presidential ticket of the NDC to the south. This party should ensure to change the way things are done today by prioritizing leadership without ethnic jingoism and religious favoritism.
Here to show solidarity because the crowd of people that made up of this party are people of impeccable character, and I believe we are of like minds. We are going to make Nigeria to work again.
Okay, well, you just watched that clip from the NDC. And Okwe, I understand that the NDC now it hasn't split into two, but there are two NDCs. The N in the two, one is
One is
national, the other
Nigeria.
one is Nigeria. So I am not quite understanding what is going on. But like I always say, as it unfolds, we'll get to know. All right, moving to the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress (APC) Vice President Kashim Shettima has formally submitted President Bola Tinubu's nomination and expression of interest forms to the party. Shettima called on party members and Nigerians to support the president's re-election bid, saying the Tinubu administration has shown courage in implementing reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy and rebuilding the nation's confidence.
to fund the importation of oil for 1 month. Instead of passing blame, instead of kicking the ball down the road, he decided to take far-reaching position to make the country work. And Nigeria is now working. He never resorted to cheap propaganda. Who would betide anyone who criticizes late President Muhammadu Buhari before President Tinubu? And that is a testimony to his fidelity to relationships. We have called the Rubicon. We are out of the dark tunnel, and Nigeria is on a path to recovery and growth. In this democracy, every one of us has a role to play. Some will spread the beautiful successes of our party and administration. Banners will be elected. Some will defend the process, and some will mobilize the people. However, it becomes on all of us to, as a matter of sacrifice and contribution, protect the hope of Nigeria. On behalf of our great party, I ask all Nigerians, I beseech on all our countrymen, irrespective of differences in political affiliations, religious persuasions, tribal or sectional background, to support this nomination, and by the special grace of God, the candidacy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027.
We have a consensus in supporting Mr. President to continue the good work he is doing. So on behalf of the governors produced by All Progressive Congress of the 31 states in Nigeria out of 36, we don't know how many states that is remaining. It is already a consensus. So we humbly commit to work assiduously to market our party, market the policies and successes recorded by this administration, and to ride on that to get the public mandate and confidence for Mr. President to be re-elected. Thank you so much, and may God bless all.
Power Production Nigeria, and Mr. President has supported that company. And I think we need to give a round of applause to Mr. President for providing all infrastructure for us as a country. And then lastly, this reform also that comes with power, the reform is doing in the power sector. You know, someone asked me, and he said, Mr. President said, if I don't provide power for Nigerians, don't vote me. And I said, Mr. President has made a reform. That reform has liberalized power. The states now can generate power. And state governments are not generating power. The governor of Bayelsa, I don't know where he is here. The governor of Bayelsa is here. Of recent, Mr. President visited your state and commissioned a power plan. And I know
and the people are waiting patiently come January 2027 to show him their love and support by voting him in again for the second time. The way and manner Mr. President led this country within the last 3 years, it will give an impression to so many that he was a president of this country before. Because I always say that anyone who comes into government for the first time, the first 2 to 3 years of his administration will be full of trial and error, because it is a time for him to really understand even the problems he is encountering. But our president from day one was bold and courageous to not only identify what the key issues of this country are, but he went in a very relentless manner to pursue and achieve and conquer most of the economic problems we have in this country. So I have no doubt in my mind that this ceremony we are experiencing today is the beginning of a very good story that will not only...
You're welcome back. You know, we, I'm sure you watched that clip, and it's all about politics this morning. Well, Okwe, the ball is in your court.
Yes, I'm with this line of job. There's a very huge potential that you get to consume a lot of political materials. I think we have a call. Maybe we start picking the calls now.
Yes. Let's just take
Let's
this
see if
first
we're
call.
lucky with this one.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? We lost the
Okay.
call.
So very funny thing about Nigerian's political space is one moment is ADC, the next moment is NDC, the next moment is PDP. So, and whether it's genuine or not, the fact that we have a reflection of something that looks a bit competitive is what has been giving me joy. Sometimes the buzz is up, everything calms down, but when I watched the video of the vice president, I also watched, the comment of Professor Nentawe Yitwada, the national chairman of the APC. Uh, it's basically what you expect politicians to say at this point. The president is not back in the country yet. His vice was the one that submitted his nomination from last week. And then I think that signaled the start of a thorough and rigorous electoral process. Very rigorous, as it always be. Traveling from all of the states for campaigns, sometimes propaganda, rallies, moving in large convoys and all of that. But if the vice president is saying Nigeria is now working, so GDPs can show growth. Do you understand? The statistics, the numbers on paper can reflect growth. But if it does not reflect on the lives of the people, if the vice president is saying Nigeria is now working, can he go to his state? The state he governed, which is Borno State, can he go there without convoy? Can he go there without security details? That's the question we need to ask.
And it's a very good question.
If the vice president say Nigeria is now working, because Nigeria working means that you must first and foremost keep to the constitutional responsibility that you have as a leader. The constitution is very clear. The principal responsibility of every government is to see to the safety first and the welfare of the people. So if you say Nigeria is working and Nigeria is safer than they are last few years, what happens? Do the people in Plateau that are burying their loved ones every day, do they share the same optimism about the Nigeria is now working? The people in Kwara State that have their families and relatives still in the abductors' den after so many weeks, do they share the same sentiment? The people in your own state of Borno, where terrorists are threatening that they will kill over 400 captives that they have, do they share the same sentiment that you share that Nigeria is working? So if you say Nigeria is working, what are the metrics that they are using to measure?
Sorry, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, we need to remind you, we want you to call and be part of the program, but we don't want you to call while you have increased the volume of your television set, because we won't be able to hear you. It's just going to be a waste of time. Okay, and we don't have that time to waste. So please call, be part of the program, but before you do, ensure that you're a disciplined Nigerian by listening to instructions. Reduce the volume of your television set. You don't need to hear yourself speak, because we are the ones who need to hear you speak. And if we don't hear you speak, you're just wasting your time. All right, Okwe, sorry for cutting you.
It's fine. The vice president is saying that Nigerians and party faithful should support the president, that the reforms are being implemented, and then is restoring national confidence. You know, sometimes you think these politicians are living in a world separate from our own reality. Perhaps they just live and thrive in a bubble. They are not feeling the reality of what we have as a nation. How many people are getting killed every day? How people are literally begging. You know, on Friday, I made a post and I said, if you think we are exaggerating how hungry Nigerians are or how poor Nigerians are, if you go for your Wambe this weekend, leave your seats and go to the other side of the hall where they are washing plates, where the servers and the caterers are serving food. You see how many people, family people with bags, rushing for what used to be food for the dogs, waste, just trash. And a friend of mine replied that message late yesterday night with a picture. So apparently she did what I said they should do, and then she saw it. If you see the way people were fighting, do you know the crazy thing she said? That even the servers are now collecting small money from people before they give them waste.
Let me even tell you about it.
I broke down.
Not just the waste, but the servers would serve people and expect to get money from them.
I mean,
you know, they will monitor you when you're leaving the party. They will come to you that they have served you well. So you need
they expect themselves to also be served well.
Well, you know, I do agree with you, Okwe, that we're not, the people are not feeling the impact of the government. So when the vice president says that all is well, you know, I'm just summarizing, you know, the meaning of what he said. All is well, all is, you know, in check, you know, Nigeria is working, means that it is well. But it is well from whose perspective?
That's what I'm saying.
Perception is reality. Now, if we don't see it as being well, then it is not well.
Because it is well, or Nigeria is working, had to be working in life of the people. First
Exactly.
off, Nigeria is not a video game where somebody has a remote control, has a pad, and is running those things. Nigeria is a functional system. Nigeria is a country on its own. So when you have systems that are supposed to make it a plug and go thing, you have a governor, you know the responsibilities of the governor. You have a local government chairman, you know the responsibility of the local government chairman. There's a reason why they call the president the president. He's supposed to preside. He's supposed to preside. Oh, local government chairman, what is happening in your local government? Are we making progress? That was why we kept pushing for local government autonomy. Oh, Mr. Governor, how are you governing your people? Because the president presides over everybody. The governors govern their own states. The local government have their localities to protect and develop. So if the vice president is saying that Nigeria is working, okay, we agree that Nigeria is working. Are the farmers safer now? No. Are Nigerians even safer by themselves? No. What is the reality of the economy, the indices, or the GDP is going up? Does it affect us in the market? No. Can a tuber of yam now feed a family of 5? No. Can a basket of tomato that used to be 33,000 and is now almost 190,000, does it make us feel better? No. When you buy a bulb of onion that was 100 naira before, you're now buying it for 350 naira. You say no. How much is a pack of spaghetti? It used to be less than maybe 600 or so. It's now almost 2,000 naira. How much is a derica of rice? Because Nigeria is a consuming nation, and you can't blame us. So you have to check your indices vis-a-vis the current realities of the people. If you say the GDP is going up, if you say there's stability in naira valuation, has it improved in the power of the naira? What I can buy 10 years ago with 10,000 naira, can I buy with 50,000 naira today? No. If I was being paid 50,000 naira salary 10 years ago, I would prefer than being paid 300,000 naira today. Call members that were collecting 19.8 10 years ago, they prefer it to 77,000 today.
Of course, the 19.8 would have purchased, well, you know, much more than
you
the 70 something.
So when you say Nigeria is working, does it reflect in the quality of our daily lives?
That's the same thing that I'm saying. It doesn't reflect in the quality of our daily lives at all. We cannot buy petrol for our cars. Those who don't have cars but want to buy petrol for their generators, they cannot afford. It's not affordable. Some people just want to buy petrol to run the grinding machine that they use to earn an income, and that is a problem, because when they increase the price to grind the tomatoes for their customers, they will go somewhere else. So it is a huge problem. The vulcanizer needs petrol for the welder needs petrol.
The tailor.
You know, all our artisans need petrol. Companies need petrol or diesel to run. But what does it cost now compared to what it used to cost? And then our vice president comes out and tells us, I mean, who should be telling? Now, I think that there's a mix-up here. You know, the tables are turning. The tables should not turn. What I expect our leaders to do, if they have a plan to improve the living standard of the masses, is to ask the masses, ask the people, how do you think things are going now? In 2 years, in 3 years that we've been here, what is your own analysis of our service? This is how, you know, good government should be run, you know, by asking questions, not telling us, and you know, enforcing it on us. You know, hello, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Gibao.
From where?
I'm calling from Gibao.
Jigawa Dutse.
Jigawa. Oh, well, the man who understands, you know, those things there has answered you. All right. Thank you for calling. You want to make a contribution or you want to ask questions? Okay, go ahead.
If something is still happening like this, how are we going to tackle the problem? Since that we already know the problem, how are we going to advise our politicians?
Okay.
Instead of something to get to be done, but to keep it getting worse. If we are talking about years back, something is not happening like that. But no, instead of to correct something, but keep it continue going like this. How are we going to do?
Thank you very much for that question. And I like the fact that she said she's going to ask a question. This is what we're asking the government to do. Ask the people questions. Is it okay with you? Is there anything you want us to improve on? Not just come out and tell us, you know, shove it down our throats by saying that, you know, everything is improving. Now, this woman has asked a very valid question. But my answer, before I ask Okwe to say anything, is that you can only force the horse to go to the stream. You can't force the horse to drink. What am I trying to say in other words? We can only do what we're doing. You know, continue to say what we're saying, that things are not okay. Now, it's a different ball game for our leaders to listen to us and to, you know, to change the strategy. They said that we're bringing a change. That's what they said. That's what they promised us. But we're not really seeing this change. So it's a completely different ball game as we speak. Now, what can people do? We cannot do anything to force them to change if they don't want to change. If they want to focus on themselves, if they want to focus on politics, they will continue to do that. The one thing that the citizens can do is go to the polls. Decide who your next leader will be. If you're retaining the leadership, fine. If you're changing it, it's really up to you. The power is in your hands. Don't sit at home and say, oh, they've already decided. Your vote may make the difference. So that's the best we can tell you. We will only do what we can do. You will be there complaining. Everybody is complaining. We are feeling it as well. But the only thing we can do as citizens of this nation is to go to the polls. That's all I can say.
You know, when you see leaders assessing themselves, it's just like an employer or an employee. So you've employed me, and then I'm supposed to be marked based on certain KPIs at the end of the month. And then I come to you and say, I've performed well, I've done well. And it doesn't make sense. Because I'm the one paying your salary. That's why they call you a public servant. You are supposed to serve me. All the luxury you are enjoying are from my commonwealth, right? And that's what you're living on. So when you stay in a place, because you have luxury, because your residence was renovated with 22 billion of taxpayers' monies, you don't think anything is not working, because when you snap, it's there. You have loads.
You can buy a yacht. You can buy.
You can do whatever
anything you want. Renovate First Lady's office.
You don't know the cost of a bag of rice. You don't care. As long as you come into your house, there's food, there's luxury. You have people running around, are calling you around Kadede, are giving you all of the accolades you want.
And honestly, that thing stops the minute the power stops.
No, when you leave power leaves.
That's it all.
That's why most of them are desperate to make sure that they hold on to
continue. Yes.
The funny thing is that it's not like they are necessarily looking for money as such, because before you can become an elite politician in Nigeria, you must be a billionaire. That's a fact. You must have money to do Nigerian politics, but they want power attached to these monies. That's why they'll tell you that the moment you leave power, power leaves you. I was reading Mr. Femi Adesina's interview some months back, or maybe about a year ago. He said when he was with the president, that they get minimum of 100 to 300 phone calls and messages every day. People seeking for help, people wanting to see the president, people doing this and that. That the moment Jonathan left office and he stopped being an aide to the president, that sometimes he doesn't get up to 4 calls a day.
That's not.
So when they say when you leave power
leaves you.
So the question is this: what do you do while you had power? Influence may never leave you. Do you understand? Positions and recommendations may never leave you. What the good people or the good thing people will say about you may never leave you. But the power will leave you because Nigerians are naturally attracted to the nowness of an event. That's why they call it news. Who is trending now? Who is the governor? Nobody remembers who is the former governor. Nobody cares about who is the former senator. Who is there now? So when the vice president comes out to say Nigeria is working, on which basis was that assessment made? Are people smiling? Does the Nigeria have a better purchasing power today? Can I go to the market with my salary and confidently say I want to go on a vacation at the end of the month?
They have increased minimum wage.
Minimum
wage is meaningless. Honestly, if Nigeria was where it was before this government took over, you understand, with the same with 30,000 naira minimum wage, and people were at least able to afford certain things, I'm sure they would want those days
people would prefer
to come back.
30,000 naira minimum wage of 10 years ago to the 77. Do you know how insulting it is for you to work for a month and you are earning 70,000?
Even we as individuals don't pay our staff that amount.
So I know there could be other small, but you're basic. Do you know what it feels like? And you have children in the university. That's why I always say that it will be difficult to sanitize the civil service. Because you know how much you are taking home. You have house rent to pay. You have kids that are going to university. You have a lot of people depending on you to survive. In fact, some of these salary earners, their family members used to be warm to them towards the end of the month. They'll start sending you greetings. They'll start sending you prayers in the morning because they know that salary days are coming. So they have loads of people on them. So if the vice president comes out to say, support the presidential bid, we know those are political statements. But when you say Nigeria is now working,
I think that's very unfair.
I want to sit back and ask myself.
And I think that's insensitive.
Look at the crowd at the bus stops this morning. When you wake up, yesterday, the same place you paid 700 naira for could be 1,200 naira today because you're passing a fuel station and you're seeing 1,310 naira.
Oh yes, I bought petrol for 1,003. Is it 345 or something yesterday?
I bought 10 liters on Saturday for 13,100. That is 10 liters.
On when? Saturday?
On Saturday.
I think it was more expensive
10 liters
yesterday.
at the start of 2023 was 1,900. That was when petrol was 190 naira per liter. 10 liters at the start of 2023 before the election was 1,900. I bought the same 10 liters for 13,100 in an oil producing
and we
state.
say that Nigeria
and the vice president is telling me that Nigeria is now working. Which work is he working? Is it that because you have more luxury as a leader, can the people you are leading also say the same? So if you come out and say that Nigeria is working, we're enjoying national stability, we are not. People are getting killed from Borno. The state you govern, the state where you are from, is the state even working? Is the state safe? People are getting killed in Benue. People are getting killed on the plateau. In fact, the number of people that have died since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a stopover at the airport is almost times 3 of the number of people that took him to the airport. 32 people were killed in Agwarokuba. Do you know how many more people have died since after then?
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Express show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? John is calling from Aja. Okay, John, you want to ask a question? You want to make some contribution? What is it? But you need to speak up, though.
Yes.
Okay. We're waiting for you, John. What do you want to say? Yeah, go ahead and make your contribution.
It's very, very sad that the government of the country have destroyed the nation.
Did you hear his words? Have destroyed the nation. Yes, that is sad that the government of this country have destroyed the nation.
Certain power in the country now has gone. There's a lot of ash for the country. So why are they supporting the government that's not doing anything? People are suffering. People are dying. A lot of things are going on. government that have destroyed this country. It is very, very sad. Extremely sad. I don't know why people are saying for this government. Because we are going through. The level of money has gone down totally. It is very, very sad, honestly speaking. You see people praising the government. Is it renew hope or renew hardship? That's it all. That is it renew hope or renew hopelessness? It is very true, sad. These are people that were criticizing the former government. Now they come look at what they have done. They have scattered everything. The economy is in coma. It's very, very sad indeed.
Thank you so much. Well, John has he called from Aja and he's used very, very strong words. He said the country is in coma. He said this government have destroyed the nation. Oh, these are very, very strong words. And when our vice president comes out to say publicly that Nigeria is working, they need to hear John's comments. They need to hear what's her name that called from Jigawa State. You know, you need to hear more comments like this. And then you ask yourself again, did I say Nigeria is working? Is Nigeria really working? Is this about me or is it about Nigerians? You know, if we give Nigerians the opportunity to tell you about Nigeria, I'm sure you wouldn't even go near saying that Nigeria is working. We must learn to stop being insensitive. That's exactly what we're doing. We're being insensitive to the feelings of the people, the masses. Look, John just said it, that the purchasing power is nil as we speak, unfortunately.
He's not lying.
He's not lying. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time to keep going on. We need to move to the next topic, but we'd like for you to call, even though we don't have too much time. The numbers to call 0707 3800959, 0707 3800959. All right, time for us to continue discussing politics. We're still on politics. So rather than a picture of the day, we have a video of the day. Okay, it feels so good, so good, you know, to see a person with dwarfism vying for a position, you know, that made my day, really, really made my day. This gives me the impression that equal opportunity shouldn't just be on paper, it should be practically visible. Now we're going to be talking about Honorable Muhammad Sadis Buba Abin Al-Ajabin Zazu. Is it Zazao? Zazao, okay.
He's a titled man.
Okay, he's a title. Oh, that's a title. Let me try and take that title again. Abim Al-Ajabin Zazao. All right. He completed his screening as a House of Representatives candidate for the Sabon Gari Zaria Federal Constituency. We have a video from his screening exercise.
How old are you? How old are you? Huh? 30 years? Really? Wow. You're 30 years? And your mom is there, your dad is there? How many do you have? How many siblings do you have? Huh? 9 siblings. Are you the last? The first son? Is any of your brothers here? You just came alone? No. Huh?
It's old.
Your oldie. Who's your oldie?
See the old lady.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Can we see your membership card? Yep, can you send me your membership card? Oh, okay.
Is that his file?
Yeah, this is his file.
Did you go to school?
That's what I want to check. His credentials.
Are you working closely with your governor? Is he aware that you're here?
I have seen when he
How optimistic are you to win the? Do you have any opponent running? How do you want us to help you? Yes, how do we help you?
You want to help me to pass the school and
You will pass the school?
Yes, go down to problems because people called me to serve. And I will serve. I'm not going to call myself. It's, it's people that call me to serve them.
Yes. And you want to serve them?
Yes.
And how many of those people are running? How many people are running against you?
In APC?
Yeah, in
No,
APC.
only two.
Only two?
Yes.
Why don't you talk to the other person to step down for you?
No, he's the current member, he's the second member.
How many times has he
No,
done?
the first time.
First time.
Yes.
Why do you want to replace him?
No, it's not for me, it's from the people.
I love that. That's okay. Write your name.
What's the level of education? You have not seen it. I think
Yes.
you just
Do we have part of his credentials?
We will come to them.
Hello, Manu. Okay.
The constituency.
Yeah, yo.
The camera person is the same, so your camera is blocked.
Live here. Yawa, yanzu na jin ka.
Now we see your certificate. Which one? You have first degree?
Okay.
What do you have?
So sun wuce kenan.
Let me see your name.
It's Neko Abi. He submitted SSC.
Okay. Allah ba da sa. So komai ya tafi daidai in ke. Akwai akurin na wurin aiki ne.
These are your documents.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
These are your copies.
We have it in the file here.
Can you help on the reference? Okay. So it's mine. Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, welcome back to the program. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Mr. Shegun.
Okay, Mr. Shegun.
Yes, I'm calling from Makuru.
Okay, how may we help you?
Okay, I want to deviate a little bit from your topic. I want to focus on the Lagos State government's environmental sanitation. I mean, where in this world have we seen people pay tax and then they come to the streets to clean the mess on the streets? It doesn't work that way. The government is the one meant to be responsible for anything outside your compound. The streets are owned by the government. They are maintained by the government. So I mean, it is like slavery. You force people to come outside to work every Saturday, every last Saturday or something, to clean their gutters. When you're meant to have an agency doing that, is it that they don't want to pay people to render that service? Or, I mean, I wonder because, I mean, Lagos is all about tax. I want to believe those taxes they collect from people are meant to be spent on the state. Their streets, their roads, and all that. What is Loma doing? I mean, they need to employ more people. I can't pay tax and then you pull me to come to my gutter in front of my house and clean it. So that's the point I'm trying to throw across. They need to work on that. You can't force people to come outside to. I mean, it's not done anywhere in the world. Are we under a military government or a dictatorship kind of arrangement? That's what I wanted to say on air.
Thank you so much for calling. We will address this issue as we go along very quickly because we don't really have the time. Okay, so a little deviation from the dwarf, but we need to
Very
talk about
important also.
very important here. But we need to quickly talk about the dwarf registration of Honorable Muhammad Sadis Buba. I am really, really very proud, and I'm so happy that this is happening. The man is so cute. Like, I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
He's a 30-year-old man.
Yeah, but he's so cute. And I really, really like the fact that this man is being given the opportunity. And you can see that they really screened him. They drilled him. You know,
I
they
think we have
really...
a call.
We have a call, but, you know, let me
Okay.
just talk about
Go
this
on.
man. You know, I want to talk passionately about the fact that Nigeria has given this man an opportunity. And I believe that with this is the beginning of better things to come in Nigeria, where by the word equality is
truly
actually
in action.
here in action. All right, let's hear from this caller briefly. Hello, good morning. Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, what do you want to say right now?
I totally disagree with the last caller about the environment. How can you say government should bring people to clean your gutter, your own mess? Even in abroad, there's community work, people do work. You can't expect the government every time to come down and do everything for us. There's no way the government will employ people to clean your gutter. It's not possible. It's not done anyway. You have to clean your own mess. That's your mess. And that's how they do the different thing. The environment, you have to keep your environment very clean. You don't need to be told that. That's my own contribution.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys are gradually taking us away from our topic, but let me quickly respond to that. Abroad, nobody comes out to clean their gutters. I'm sorry, I must say this. It doesn't happen abroad. Nobody comes out to clean their gutters. I'm not speaking in defense of the last caller, and I see your point. Yes, if you make a mess within your compound, you should clean it. Ideally, you should ensure that your surrounding is clean. But his point is that if people are paying taxes for this work to be done,
We have Ministry of Environment.
we have Ministry of Environment. So why you don't need to take the taxes in that case and let people just focus on cleaning their gutters outside their compound. I am kind of in support of what he said. I have never been in America and seen any of my hosts, no matter where I go to, whether it's New Jersey, whether it's Maryland, whether it's New York, whether it's Boston, whether it's Philadelphia, anywhere, nobody comes out to clean their gutters. You know what I'm saying? But they just clean the immediate environment. You see that the government have people who do this on a daily basis, sometimes bi-daily. That's twice a day. You know, that's the way it happens. So his point is valid by my own assessment to an extent, and I hear you loud and clear that, you know, as individuals we should always ensure that our environments are clean. I'm sure a lot of us do that even without being told, and I'm sure the person who called does that as well, even though he's complaining. You know, sometimes when you do things, you still would want the right thing to be done. You know, so let's look at it like that. All right. Before we leave, there's one thing I would really like to talk about, and I told him about it. How I went to a police station over the weekend. And I'll try to get the name of that police station that I went to. My daughter's house girl, you know, absconded. And we had to go and make the report at the police station. If I said missing, a missing girl, they said she's not missing because she's an adult, you know, so she absconded. Okay, it's the Ilashe police station. I hope I got that pronunciation right. Ilashe police station. So when I got there, you know, at the front desk, they recorded not the report, but the case was recorded at the front desk, and I know what I encountered at the front desk. And then when I went in, they now assigned an IPO to me, and I went in and I sat in front of the IPO. He's IPO Ayeni, you know, and he didn't smile for 1 second, you know. And he was so professional, you know. He write your statement. He told me what to do, how to do it, you know, no paragraphs, put your full stop and continue. And, you know, he gave me all the rules, you know, in one breath. And then I started to write, and I picked the paper, put it on my hand, and I was writing. And another IPO said, no, madam, you can't write on your hand. Put the paper down. I said, I don't have my glasses. That's why I need it closer to my eyes. I said, wait till you get your glasses. So I had to send for my glasses. And then I put the paper on the table. He said, because we don't want anybody recording us and saying that our police station don't have tables, you know. And in my mind, I'm like, who is going to report you? I'm the one person that can report you anyway. But, okay, so I put it on the table and my glasses came and I wrote my report and everything. And I felt there was, the man, Ayeni, was so professional. And even the man who said, don't write on your hand, he was professional too, you know. So I finished what I was doing, and he told me, okay, they will, you know, they have their ears to the ground. They do their investigation. If they find her or any news about her, they would inform me, and I should do the same if I get her first. At the end of the day, you know, I said, okay, officer, can I have your number? He gave me his number, and I said, all right, I'll call you later. So, and I left. So the following day, I just felt in my spirit that I wanted to, you know, give him something. I wanted to buy him breakfast. That's what I said. It was a Sunday morning. I said, I sent him a message. I'd like to buy you breakfast. Please send me your account details. Do you know that this man refused? He refused. He said no, he wasn't going to take anything, you know, and so on and so forth. And I just want to commend him, because when we sit on this table and talk about the police asking for money, asking for bribe when they're doing their duties, we must come back to say that we did meet a police that we can call our friend. What is it? IPO Ayeni. Thank you very much and well done. I'm sure that IG Disu will be so proud of you.
And I'm sure the IPO now will now realize that, oh, so this person I'm thinking she should not say we don't have table is even the one I should have been more concerned about. But I big up. So when we criticize them, we'd also praise them when they do the right things.
All right, well, that's the way we have to round up today. We want to call it a day, but not before we remind you to follow us on all our social media platforms. Please, please, and please. It's at MITV Plus on Facebook, at MITV Plus _NG on Instagram, TikTok, and X. And you can also watch our programs live on YouTube at MITV Plus _NG. Please remember to click the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Okwayemi?
Yeah, we have to go. We'll be back tomorrow, Gospel in Our Lives, for a fresh edition of the show. Have a beautiful Monday and join us again tomorrow.
All right, from me, it's have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you.